Morning, good evening. Today we have our student, Dr. Viraj Shah, who actually matched into a transitional year and he was a repeat applicant. So let's hear from him on his challenges and how this season he was able to overcome those. So welcome, Viraj. Glad to have you here.
Thank you, Dr. Pawan, sir. Like, it's great. It's an honor for me as well to be here.
Yeah. So let's give an overview to our audience. Who you are, when you started your journey, so on and so forth.
Sure. So, firstly, as you know, my name is Viraj Shah, and I graduated from India. And the main thing I would say, as for any ordinary student, I also had pretty ups and downs in my USMLE journey. Speaking about the challenges that I had, first thing in my challenge is that I'm an old graduate. I graduated back in 2017. And the other main obstacle I would say is I started pretty late in my career. I started my USMLE journey almost after graduating. So that was also pretty late. After that, I had no clear direction or mentorship into like heading forward into the USMLE journey. So as a basic norm, I started studying for USMLE steps and with the goal of just completing the steps as soon as possible. I plan to move to the United States also pretty late, which was also another drawback that I think was a negative point. And I just kept focusing on the step exams, which eventually consumed a lot of time, a lot many years for me. So I came to US, I moved here, I completed my exams, I got ECFMT certified, and 2020 was the first year when September 2020 was the cycle that I applied
Okay.
with no clear directions, no guidance or anything. I was just following some groups and chatting with some other friends and people like that. After that, I didn't match in that first cycle at all. I just had one interview in that season. After that, I reached out to other friends and saw on social platform that there is this agency called USMLE Sarthi. So I read about it. I was fortunate to speak to you in person as well. And Pawan sir was, as always, he was very helpful. He guided me what the program is, how they should work, what all things I should focus on. And eventually I joined USMLE Sarthi, and trust me, that changed my journey drastically. I got direction how to approach people as professionally as well. Like, they molded me with my speech, with my interviews. They helped me personalize my personal statement. They helped me improve my CV. Initially, I didn't had much to show on my CV as well. So for the second cycle, I made sure that I had at least 4 to 5 United States clinical experience. It was a mixture of tele rotations as well as in-person rotations. Along with that, I also understood the importance of research publications. There had always been this group discussions on Sarthi group. The panelists used to always give their inputs. So I also added some publications to my CV before the second cycle. That also helped me in a great way. And not to mention, I am very, very grateful to my mentor as well that I was provided from the Sarthi team. She always motivated me at times when I felt low or demotivated. She was always there to push me and tell me that, that's not the end of your journey. Just keep working hard, push yourself. So that was my, that she also played a great role towards my residency journey. So overall, it was quite helpful after I joined Sarthi. And I would say that it's always better to have a complete view about your CV and not just focus on scores. Yes, scores are a vital part of the journey, but along with that, also try to focus on other things as well. Also, one thing which I forgot to mention was uh, Sarthi also helped me change my perspective towards reaching out to programs. They always constantly said that email programs, reach out to them, which I did pretty thoroughly. before the application deadline, as well as after the deadline and after the interviews as well. So that's something which needs to be focused as well. And I also made sure that I widened my socializing, like networking with, say, with incoming residents or the faculty or any such person who I can reach out to. So
Okay.
those are like some things I would like to mention.
Oh, that is great. That's a good introduction. Now, let's go back to the challenges, right? So you articulated some challenges, old YOG, lack of USC, maybe research, some of these things. Now, which one of these challenges do you think was very hard to overcome? Was it finding USC? Was it research? Which one of these was harder, and how did you go about it?
Well, I would say like all these three were the main challenges that were there, and all three were very hard to overcome. Out of which YOG, anyways, I couldn't change it because it's something that I cannot change. But
Mhm.
I made sure that I can at least work on United States clinical experience, USC, and the research thing. Definitely, COVID did made it difficult for me to find USCE in person. So before like joining Sarthi, I had I think one or two USCE. Uh, that also I got it like after emailing to many faculties and to many people to, at least give me one USCE. Sarthi did help me with that as well. I did three USCE through USMLE Sarthi, out of which one was telerotation and two were in person. And also along with that, for research as well, I had to reach out to a lot many people. But once I got the first breakthrough, first opportunity, things started to link up after that. So by the time of my cycle, like the second cycle, I already had like three publications, and there were a couple of them which I was already working on as well.
Okay. So I have, a couple of questions. One is, I know you said you started the journey late, right? So what would be your advice to, let's say, final year MBBS students, interns? How should they plan it? Learning from your experiences, if you were to do it again, how should they plan? That's for people who are listening to us or watching it and are in final year MBBS, so they have some time. So first question is on that lines.
Yeah, sure. So that is definitely a great point. Like I forgot to mention about the planning. I feel from my mistake that I've learned is planning is very key for this journey. It's not just for the final year MBBS students or the interns, but also like if you have dreams of coming to US for residency, I would suggest start from day one, have things in plan that this things I'm gonna do by end of first year or second year, or I'm gonna start studying. Though I would say it's not late whenever you start, but once you start, always have that focus and planning in mind. Like make sure that you finish your steps on time. Make sure you have sufficient USCE as well as research. But for the ones who are like in their final year MBBS and internship, it's not too late as well, but just make sure that you have planning and you have the right timeline. Make a timeline. That's the bottom line, I would say. Make a timeline and follow it thoroughly.
Hmm. Okay. And what would you recommend to people who are probably ready going into the match in the next or this season, right? So people who may be taking their CK and or have done CK and others and now going into the match. What would be the top things they should focus on?
Yes, so the ones who are either appearing for CK or have already taken CK, the ones who are appearing for CK, I would say yes, focus on your CK. Along with that, also focus on getting some US-based LORs. Those play a very huge role in your CV as well. And also for those who have completed CK, I would say if possible, try to give your step three, which if you have, if say you feel you are old YOG, or if you have any red flags, try make sure that you can get through your step 3 as well, and at least get a good score to prove that you are improving at every stage. Apart from that, I think yes, focus on your steps for sure, but also make sure that you also work on your other stuff. Try to also start working on your personal statement and implementing your CV as well.
Okay, thank you. Maybe last question as tips to the applicants, although it's early in the season. As part of the interviewing process, right? What do you think these program directors, program committee members, the interviewers, what are they looking for in an applicant? Because that is a very regular question we get.
Yes, so from my experience, I would say that the first thing that the program directors look for is confidence. When you are on camera, make sure you are confident, you are presentable, and try to talk in such a way that you can get a connection with the PD. That's the main thing they look for. They don't, most of them, they don't see like, oh, how are your scores, or like how well you are with academics. That they have already seen on your CV, and that's why you are already having an interview in hand. So once you have that, make sure that you present yourself well, you are good with your speech, you are confident, and let them know that yes, you can be a good match for their program. That's what mainly they look for.
Well, thank you very much, Viraj. This was excellent, and thank you for so many tips. Anything else that we missed? Anything that you think you need to communicate?
Yes, the only thing I would like to say, I would like to give my message to the upcoming students or who are applying in this cycle is, you might get rejections, you might get troughs in your way, but just make sure, don't give up. Be focused, have that positive attitude. Sometimes, like, it's not always you'll have a peak in your life. There might be some falls, but that shouldn't demotivate you or derail you from your focus. So keep your focus on your goal and work hard for that. Eventually things will work out someday for sure.
Oh, thank you. That was very, very motivating. I'm sure this will inspire a lot of applicants. So, thank you, Viraj, and good luck in your next phase of the journey in residency.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you, and all the best to everyone.